Alright, guys. It is Wednesday, April 26, 2023 at 1:01 p.m. Alright, let's start with Bible verse of the day from dailyverses.net. It says, "Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful." Luke 6:36. Alright, guys, let's start. We have some breaking news. Lara Logan said, breaking whistleblower to expose the U.S. government involvement in massive child trafficking operation. The whistleblower is to expose the U.S. government involvement in massive child trafficking operation. On Wednesday, a whistleblower is set to testify in front of a House Judiciary Subcommittee to the United States government has been. Let me click the article so you guys can see more of it. But on Wednesday, a whistleblower is set to testify in front of a House Judiciary Subcommittee. The United States government has been operating as the middleman to a multi-billion-dollar migrant child trafficking operation. The alleged child trafficking is believed to be taking place via unsecured southern border of the United States. House Judiciary Subcommittee on Immigration Integrity, Security, and Enforcement will be evaluating the number of unaccompanied children across the southern border on Wednesday's hearing. So that is pretty big if true. I think both Republicans and Democrats, judges and congressmen, the whole system could finally come to accountants of what they're doing with all these children. That's why I posted that gif finally, because you know how many children go missing in the United States every year. Let's take a look. It says how many children go missing in the United States. About 460,000 children are reported missing every year. An estimated 800,000 were reported missing last year, and more than 2,000 children every day go missing in the United States. Who knows where they're being trafficked to, what they're doing with them. It's pretty intense. All the rumors that have been going around, what the government really has been doing with all these children. So it's pretty sick and sad, and hopefully something comes out of it. Anyways, also, Washington State bans the sale of assault weapons, including AR-15s. The first lawsuit was filed against Washington's assault weapons ban. A.G. Ferguson confident ban will survive. The NRA sues the Democrat governor of Washington State's new blatantly unconstitutional gun ban. Fox News says Washington's Jay Inslee signs assault weapon ban HB 1240. So they're banning assault weapons in Washington State. Okay, let's take a look at the next story. Ukraine Zelensky holds first war phone call with China's Xi Jinping. Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky says he has had a long and meaningful phone call with China's Xi Jinping, the first contact since Russia began the war. He believed the call, along with the appointment of an ambassador to Beijing, would give powerful impetus to the development of our liberal relations. China confirmed the call, adding that it always stood on the side of peace. Unlike the West, Beijing has sought to appear neutral on the Russian invasion, but it has never hidden its close ties to Moscow or condemned the invasion. And last month, President Xi paid a 2-day state visit to Russia. He referred to President Vladimir Putin as a dear friend, proposed a vague 12-point peace plan, and insisted that China stood on the right side of history. However, he made no commitment to providing Russia with weapons. Within days of the visit, President Zelensky invited the Chinese leader to visit Kiev for talks. Nothing. They had contact before full-scale war, but nothing since it began in February of 2022. In a readout of Wednesday's phone call, China quoted President Xi as saying that China, as a responsible majority country, would neither watch the fire from the side nor add fuel to the fire, let alone take advantage of the crisis to profit. The statement appeared to be a swipe at China's biggest intentional rival, the U.S., which has provided the most help towards Ukraine's response to the Russian war. White House spokesman John Kirby welcomed the phone call as a good thing, but said it was too easy to know whether it would lead to some sort of meaningful peace movement, plan, or proposal. The likelihood of China helping the end of the war appears remote, not just because Russia has shown no readiness to withdraw its forces from Ukraine's sovereign territory, a key demand from Kiev. Critics have also questioned the idea of Beijing acting as a mediator, citing not only Mr. Xi's firm friendship with Russia's leader, but also China's soaring trade with Russia and its refusal even to speak on an invasion. Russia's foreign ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said Moscow saw broad concord with China's approach, but said that the main barrier was Kiev's unrealistic demands. Moscow's own demands include recognition of its annexation and swaths of Ukrainian territory, including Crimea, which was invaded in 2014. So that's what's happening with Ukraine and China. Alright. See if this loads. Alright. Kremlin warns of more asset seizures after a move against Fortum and Uniper. Alright, so the Kremlin said on Wednesday it could seize more Western assets in retaliation for foreign moves against Russian companies, after taking temporary control of assets belonging to two European state-owned utilities. President Vladimir Putin late on Tuesday signed a decree placing the Russian assets on Finland's Forum and Germany's Uniper, with both operate power plants in Russia, under Moscow's control. Russia made clear that the move could be reversed. Uniper said it was reviewing the action against the Russian division. Forum said it is investigating and has learned from its Russian subsidiary that the company's CEO has been replaced and the unit put under temporary SS management. A spokesman for Germany's finance ministry, which oversees the government's ownership of Uniper, said Berlin needed to assess the concrete implications of Russia's decree. Finland's outgoing minister in charge states holding tweeted that the information was worrying and that the state, as Fortum's majority owner, would follow the matter closely. Moscow has reacted angrily to reports of groups of 7 nations and are considering a near-total ban on exports to Russia, while many have called for tougher sanctions to limit Russia's ability to fight in Ukraine. Alright, so that's what's happening with these energy programs and Russia. Alright, next. Disney sues DeSantis over control of its Florida resort. The company claimed a targeted campaign of government retaliation, which has stemmed from its criticism of a contentious state education law. So the fight between Governor DeSantis and Florida and the Walt Disney Company is headed to court. On Wednesday, a board appointment by Mr. DeSantis to oversee the government services at Disney World voted to nullify 2 agreements that gave Disney vast control over expansion at the 25,000-acre resort complex. Within minutes, Disney sued Mr. DeSantis, the 5-member board, and other state officials in federal court, claiming a targeted campaign of government retaliation. Last year, under pressure from its employees, Disney criticized a Florida education law labeled "Don't Say Gay" by opponents and halted political donations in the state, and it landed in the crosshairs of Mr. DeSantis, who put a plan in motion to revoke Disney's world's first governing privileges. Disney's lawsuit accused Mr. DeSantis of a relentless campaign to weaponize government power against Disney in a retaliation for expressing a political viewpoint. The campaign, the company added, now threatens Disney's business operations, jeopardizes its economic future in the region, and violates its constitutional rights. The spokeswoman for Mr. DeSantis had no immediate comment. Alright, so they're going to court over that. Alright, next. Private Japanese lunar craft Hakuto R crashes on landing on the moon. The Japanese firm Space has announced that the Hakuto R Mission 1 craft has failed, and its attempt to land on the moon. In a statement, the firm said its iSpace engineers will now carry out a detailed analysis of the telemetry data, find the causes of the crash. If the mission had succeeded, iSpace would have become the first private firm to land a craft on the lunar surface. Hakuto R was launched aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket on the 11th of December of 2022. The craft spent 4 months traveling to the moon with the aim of landing in the Atlas crater on the moon's near side. As it approached the moon, Hakuto R took several images of the lunar surface before it scheduled a touchdown at 1640 UTC on the 25th of April, which was yesterday. According to iSpace, the lander was in a vertical position and it carried out the final approach to the lunar surface. However, mission controllers lost all communication with the lander after the expected arrival time. Estimates of the amount of the remaining propellant showed it had been falling as Hakuto R approached to the surface. The craft's descent speed then rapidly increased, which may have caused the engines shutting down, resulting in the craft crashing into the surface of the moon. What is important is to feed this information carrying the United Arab Emirates first lunar rover called Rashid, built by the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center. The rover contained a high-resolution camera and a thermal imaging camera that would have studied the composition of the lunar regolith. If Hakuto R succeeded, the UAE would have been the fourth nation after China, Russia, and the US to operate a rover on the moon. So sadly, that lander crashed on the surface of the moon yesterday. Alright. Next we have weather. We have a couple of possible hotspots for storms today. The 26th, we have an enhanced risk area in the eastern part of Texas, parts of Louisiana. It has enhanced for Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, Texas, and Garland, Texas, as well as an enhanced risk in Florida, as you see here. A slight for Austin, Texas, Miami, Florida, Hialeah, Florida, Shreveport, Louisiana, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and a marginal for Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Tampa, Florida. So we have these two areas today with possible enhanced and possibility of severe weather today. So if you live in these areas, please keep yourselves weather aware and be safe. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news, and see you guys next time. God bless.